Okay, so remember the L stands for line them up, which means we want to make sure the X's and Y's are lined up so we don't accidentally delete the wrong zero pair. So in this case, we're going to keep the top one. We want to keep it in standard form order. However, the bottom one, the bottom equation, is this 2x, is it positive or negative? Positive. It's positive, so keep it positive. And this 5y, is it positive or negative? What? It's positive, so we're going to write positive 5y. The negative 10, we're keeping it over there. We don't have to do anything to the negative 10. Now it's lined up. Now it is definitely lined up because x's and y's are on the same side of the equals in their right position. Now the O kind of stands for zero pair. Do we already see a zero pair? Do you already see a zero pair? No. So in that case, we're going to have to try to figure out how we want to create a zero pair. We need to figure out what's going to be the easiest way to create a zero pair. Now, first of all, the A stands for automatic. Is there anything that's automatically going to cancel? We already figured out that was no. So now we're looking for, is there anything identical to each other? Like two identical terms. Do you see that? No. So O is for, do we see anything that's opposite already? Do you see anything that's the opposite? Yeah. Good. So we see, which one's opposite? Positive 5, positive 2, are those opposites? No. No, it's actually the negative 3 and the positive 5 that are opposite signs. So we're going to use this one to make our zero pair. However, this is one of the systems that we have to change both equations, okay? That's not going to happen too often in this algebra class, but you will see it later in your algebra lives, okay? So we have to change. What do we want to, what are you thinking? I mean, can you think of anything? How would we want to make these a zero pair? We can't just say, oh, 3 times 2, that's a 6. We got to change both of them. Remember, this one's already opposite, so don't worry about changing the signs. We only want to change the numbers to what? Same number. And how are we going to do that? What do they have in common?
Number equals the same thing.
Yes. Well, so what is that number? 15.
Oh.
We can't use 10 because 3 times what gives you 10? We can't do that. And we don't want to choose a bigger number like a 50. Like, no, we want to, basically, if you multiply those, that might be one of the quickest ways to see it. So we need this to be a 15 and this to be a 15. So I'm going to multiply everything. 3 times what gives us 15? 5. I'm multiplying everything times 5. And I'm going to write my new equation down here. So what's 5 times 5? 25. Don't forget, that has the x with it. And then 5 times the negative 3y is negative 15y. Don't forget the y. And then 5 times 6 is 30. Yes, the thing after the equal sign needs to get multiplied because I'm changing the full equation, right? So remember, our goal is to get this to be the negative 15, which we have, and now this, we need this to be a positive 15. So 5 times 3 will give us the 15, but everything has to get multiplied. So I'm going to write that one here. 3 times 2, x is 6x. 3 times 5y is 3 times 5? 3 times 5, be careful. And 3 times negative 10, negative 30. So we have created our zero pair. I'll give you a second. I'm going to write it right here. Yes, 1 second. I'm going to rewrite it right here because this is where we're going to combine. You need to remember what combine means. This is where we're going to like delete the zero pair, and then we're going to be combining. That means we're going to add whatever's left. Remember, the reason why we made a zero pair is so we can eliminate it. That's why it's called elimination method or linear combination method. Which ones are going to get eliminated? the y's are going to get, we need either the x's or the y's to get eliminated. Or if it was s and t, we need one of those variables to get eliminated. So this one eliminates, and we're going to combine. 25x plus 6x. Positive plus a positive, that's 31x. Then over here, notice that's kind of like another zero pair. So please write 0, because if you don't write anything, you're going to be confused. You're going to say 31x equals blank. You're going to be confused, okay? So 31x equals 0. So what are we going to divide by? Divide by what's with your x, which is 31 on both sides. So x equals, please don't start guessing what that is. Somebody said it was 1 earlier. Somebody said it was 31. 0 divided by, it's like if you don't have nothing, how are you going to divide it for something? Right? So that should be 0 because you still got 0. Remember what a solution is. So far, we've only found half of the solution. Which half did we find? The x. So the reason why we have easy and difficult is what we're going to do is which equation seems easier to you from the beginning? Which of these seems easier? The top or the bottom? For this one, I mean, to me, they both seem kind of equal, but it's going to be up to you. What do you think is easier? Because you want to use whichever equation you think is easier. Rewrite it, because we're going to use it to help us find the y value. So I heard some people say the top one was easier, so let's use the top one to help us find the y value.
So for the 5x, we're going to plug in 0.
Yes. What are we going to do with x? We're going to plug it in with what? You must put parentheses when you plug it in, because if you don't, you're going to think, oh, that's 50. No, it's 5 times the x. Then we're going to start solving. What is 5 times 0? That kind of like cancels out. 5 times 0 is 0. There's no need to write it, especially if there's something else here. Solving for y. Divide by exactly what's with the y. Exactly what's with the y? -3. So y equals -2. Now we're going to actually plug it into the difficult one and make sure it gives us the same answer. Now the reason why I tell you guys to plug it in both of them is because sometimes people start with what they thought was the easy one and then they get stuck. So say, well, forget that one. I'm going to try to plug it into the other one and see if that was easier to solve for. Because sometimes I know solving can get kind of crazy. So I'm taking the x and I'm plugging it into what? Where am I going to plug it into? Which spot? Yeah, it's an x. So please plug it into the x spot. And then we got to start solving again. So that's going to be 5y plus 2 times 0. What's 2 times 0? Cancels out. 2 times 0. Only because 2 times 0 is 0. Then we have -10. So I'm just trying to get y by itself. Divide by 5. Hopefully you'll get the same answer. Then you should be about 99% sure that you have found the solution. And that's going to be it for that problem. No, we're going to do the other one together also. I just wanted to